Hi everybody, in today's video we're going to show you how to pure your irons through the winter.
Let's take charge of your game.
So today we're going to be sharing with you 3 great drills that's going to help your iron play this winter. Pierce, what do people struggle with the most with irons, especially when it comes to the winter?
Yeah, especially in the winter, duffing it. So you generally will duff your irons more in the winter than you will in the summer because the ground is softer. And it's all to do with the fact that your low point is too much before the golf ball. So that's what this drill is going to fix.
Okay, so just talk us through a little bit about what the low point is and what happens when it's before the
Yeah,
ball.
we need to mention that for sure. So imagine that we're talking about the lowest part of the swing in relation to the club head. So when I'm swinging down now, a lot of golfers at this time of year will have their low point, and any time of year, will have their low point too much before the golf ball. So that's the lowest point of the arc of the club head as it's swinging around your body. Now we need it not to be there, we need to shift it and put it ahead of the golf ball. And that's exactly what we're going to do with this drill.
So we want that ball turf strike,
Ball
don't we?
turf strike is what we need.
Okay, talk us through it.
So look, the majority of the time you're going to be spending this winter is going to be on the driving range, Matt. So get a basket on the ground, and then from there, get an alignment stick and just prop it through the middle and just support it like so. And then from there, we want it so it's laying up against your trail leg. Let's just get the golf ball in a good place so I can hit it. Okay, so from there now, what we're looking to do, the first part that causes this low point to be too early before the golf ball is the sway. So that means when we move away from the target with the lower body and we crash into that stick. So what we're going to get you to do is, we're going to get you to swing back and either stay on that stick, or we're going to get you to even move slightly inside that stick. By creating that little bit of a gap there, you're obviously not going to be swaying, and it's going to be a lot easier for you to get a good strike on the golf ball.
Okay, so fire one away then, Piers. Great feedback this is, and it really does help train those hips because the hips directly influence that low point.
Okay, so watch my right leg and hips against this stick. Okay. I actually felt pretty bad when I hit it, but I looked up, it was actually pretty good. The ground is just very soft.
Not about you. Okay, right, next one then, Pierce. Impact is really important. We've done the backswing. Do we have a downswing drill?
Yeah, and we're going to use the stick as well for the reference point. So we're going to leave the stick in place. So I think the one thing we need to clear up is a lot of golfers will say, I need to return back to my setup position. You do not need to do that. It is different. So here's my setup. Now here is my impact. So the difference is when I go into impact, I put the weight and pressure into that lead leg. I turn my hips and I turn my torso towards the target and I lean the shaft forward. And also I create a bigger gap between my leg and this alignment stick. So it's really useful for you to do this at the range or at home when you've had too much turkey, just to actually get into a good impact and understand what that feels like. That's a really nice rehearsal to give you that feeling. Then what you do, Andy, we just combine the 2 drills. We combine the sway, getting rid of it, and that feeling of getting that impact.
So we're really creating this nice rotation on the way back, and then we're really shifting the weight towards the target and creating that sort of dynamic move with the lower body, which really helps us shift that low point after the golf ball.
It
Get
does
that
indeed.
ball turf, which is what we need.
Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to get the golf ball in play again. It's a little hard with the frozen ground,
I like how you're
Andy.
giving yourself a perfect lie, Pierce.
Oh, I'm trying my best here. I don't think I can get one.
You're supposed to make practice difficult, you know.
Oh yeah, so stick it in that divot there, yeah? Okay, so here we go. First of all then, so maybe you want to do a little rehearsal backswing. Okay, I can do that. I can do a rehearsal impact feel, return back, and I'm going to mesh both together. That was nice. Actually a little bit lower as a result of that.
Much better strike on that one.
Yeah,
though.
it was actually really good, wasn't it, that one?
Really good. So 2 really good tips there. If you find those are useful to you, make sure you hit the thumbs up, hit the like, and don't forget to subscribe for videos like this every week. And leave a comment down below. How can we help your game? We read every single comment, so make sure you do.
Yeah,
okay,
make sure you
Pierce,
do.
let's move to the next one then. Really, accuracy is so important, but what's probably the most influential thing in accuracy?
This thing here, the thing that's covered in ice and mud at the moment, so the club face. So if we can control the club face, we're definitely going to make you more accurate, and also it's going to help with the strike. So what we're looking to do really is get rid of the open club face. It's the biggest fault that we see, which can influence the direction a lot and also the strike. So we're going to employ the services of Sir Nick Faldo and a drill that he did with David Ledbetter. And this is something he did when he changed his golf swing and then went and won 6 majors. So it's just a set drill. So we just set the club like so. Now you can see when I've done this, I've hardly moved my body. It's all come from the wrists. But what I've done with the wrist is, this is really important. This left wrist isn't cupped like that, which opens the face. It's relatively flat. So it's pretty flat when I'm setting up to this. And then from there, all I do is I swing back and I hit. And you can hit, you can hit as many shots as you like doing this if your club face gets into this open position at the top, because we want it to look a lot more like that at the top.
Just do that set then again for us, Piers. So this is really important that we do this. So when we set this here, we even may want to feel that this is a little toe down as well. We don't want to get it too toe up, because that's going to create the open face. Let's feel as if we can get this similar to our spine angle, create this sort of flattening in the lead wrist, and then Piers is all he's going to do is turn and lift the arms up, but maintain the same wrist angles, because that's really key on creating that face. And if we can get that stronger face in the backswing, Piers, it really sets us up for a great downswing.
This is the key, really. So if you can work at this now, by the time you get to the spring, you're going to be in a lot better place. A lot of the things fall into place on your golf swing. Okay, so let's have a go at hitting a shot.
Harder one to coordinate, but with a bit of practice here, it really takes out that sort of compensation that we need.
Really cold morning as well, so if I thin this, I may swear. I don't think we've ever swore on camera before, Andy, have we?
We never hit bad shots to swear, Piers.
Of course. Okay, so a little check on the face there. Back and through. Yeah, there's a little bit left, but that makes sense for me doing that, working at that there. But again, if we look at that back, you'll see that club face is going to be in a lot stronger position as opposed to that weak open position.
Okay, we've got one more tip, but before we do, we've got a great coaching plan that's going to launch January 2020, Ultimate Irons. We cover every single thing in irons that's going to help you on the golf course and certainly practice as well. Make sure you stay tuned for that 2020 in January, right?
Cannot wait for your feedback on that, by the way, because it is a belter.
It is a good one. Now we're looking at really improving the path, you know, which generally is responsible for the curvature of the shot. So we've got a couple of things we're going to do here, Piers.
Yeah, I'm going to request your help if I could. So we obviously know that with the alignment stick, you can do this yourself with the use of the basket. Obviously prop it through there, but we'll just stick it in the grass here, Andy. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my setup and I'm going to swing back to waist high here. And I'm going to ask you to come and put the alignment stick in the ground for me, if you could, please.
Okay, so I'm going to put this in for somebody who would swing above the swing plane. So what I'm going to do here, it's just going to go in front of the golf ball, back in a straight line, and I'm going to place this in just, if you'll notice here, just where the hose of the club would be, roughly the same angle as the shaft at address. So hopefully that's pretty close, Piers.
Probably not far off there, Andy. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Perfect. So this is really going to help train somebody who would tend to swing
outside of the golf ball, effectively, what we would call that. So if we imagine we have our swing plane line in place here now. So what we want to avoid is taking the club too much above that plane on the way back. You can see as a result it's above the stick. And then on the way down, we don't want that club coming down over the top of the plane. Again, you can see it's either come down over the stick or it may even hit the stick in a lot of instances. So the whole purpose of this is, because we've got the stick in like so, guarding against that outside move, the feeling would be then as you take the club back that you would come back just underneath it. Okay, so you could train this, you could do some slow motion swings, some slow moves, checking it out, looking at it, looking in the mirror. And then from there on the way down, we want to make sure that we swing underneath it. Now the swinging underneath on the way down when you're hitting the golf ball with more speed is obviously harder. So to start with, go at slow speed. If you want to protect your club, you can always put a head cover on the end of the stick. But you need to actually make sure to start with that you can guarantee that you can miss that stick and keep underneath it.
So this is great for somebody who's got a path that's too much to the left, basically. This is really going to change that path and minimise that curvature to the right if you're a slicer of the golf ball. Absolutely. Okay, hit a shot then for us, Piers, and then we'll go with the other one. So Piers is just going to, his main focus here is just to miss that stick. If he can miss that stick, it means he's going to improve his path and create a little bit more of a neutral flight.
Okay, so this should be actually probably a little bit of a draw for me if it encourages me to do this correctly. That's exactly what it was.
There we go, a little bit of right to left. Okay, now for somebody who swings the club a little too much on the inside, all we're going to do, I'm going to wait for Piers to put the ball in place, give yourself a nice lie.
So you've hardly got to actually move the stick there. How nice I am to you.
Okay, so all I'm going to do now is I'm going to place this, which would be inside the golf ball in a straight line here. Again, still level with the hosel, similar sort of angle here. And this is now going to train a slightly better move away, and for somebody maybe who gets a little too much on the inside.
And this is, look, this is definitely someone who may be hooking the golf ball a little bit more now, so someone who brings the club a little bit too much underneath the swing plane on the way back and swings it down underneath the swing plane on the way down. There is another one which we'll talk to you about in a moment, which is a very common pattern, but let's stick with the person, teeth back in, it's freezing out here, the person who hooks the golf ball. So as we just did on the last one, before I was staying underneath, now I've got to stay above it. So I'm going to rehearse again. Can I get the club above the stick on the way back? On the way down, can I get it working down in front of the stick? And I'll probably look to see a little bit of a fade when I hit this golf shot.
Yeah, so it's definitely going to change the path a little bit more left, but again, great feeling, great thing to do on the range to really train that feeling that you need.
Steeper divot as a result.
Yeah,
There we go. It's got a little bit of fade on it.
And you, again, the thing to do with this when you're on the range, just slot that through a basket. You know, if all you have is the access to a driving range mat, obviously you can't get the stick in the ground, place it through or thread it through the basket to help you like that.
So let's give you another one. Let's give you a very common pattern that we see as a result of people just playing golf and not really working too much on their golf swing. So it's actually a movement. I've taken all the ground away there pretty much, Andy. It's a movement where the club goes underneath the plane on the way back and then over the top on the way down. So they go under the plane and then over on the way down. So guess what? We're just going to reverse that. So you can have some practice swings. Tee the golf ball up maybe to start with. But you can have some practice swings where you keep the club above the stick on the way back, and on the way down you work it underneath. So you go above on the way back, and on the way down you work it underneath. But go slow to start with.
A little bit more coordination needed for this. It's a little harder because you've got two things to think about, but certainly something worth having a go at if you are somebody who struggles with that.
Ooh, beautiful little draw, but did thin it a little bit, and it's a little bit tingly.
The last thing you want in the winter, but some great drills that you can take to the driving range that really can improve the ball striking, improve the accuracy with the club face, and improve the path, minimise that curve. Hope you enjoyed that. Now remember, January 2020, our Ultimate Irons coaching plan is going to launch, so make sure you don't miss that. If you want to check it out, plus the rest of our coaching plans, click the link in the description, and we look forward to coaching you to playing better irons next year. Have a great Christmas.
Have a great Christmas.
And we'll see you next week.